Welcome to Fireside Gaming. I'm Billum, and I think it's time we talk about F-Zero. There's been some rumors floating around that a new game is in the works, and I thought it would be fun to talk about what I want Nintendo to do with the series. But first, let me get my history with F-Zero out of the way. My first exposure to the series was actually through Super Smash Bros. On the N64. Captain Falcon was one of the characters I always liked playing, but I had no idea who exactly he was or what game he came from. This led to me looking up the character online and getting an idea of what F-Zero was. That saw me making use of emulation years later to check out the SNES and N64 games, and then eventually playing my friend's copy of F-Zero GX on the GameCube. Now to be clear, I am not some huge F-Zero guru. At least, I don't think I am. I've played just about all of the games available, and I own most of them now thanks to the Wii U's Virtual Console. But I am not that guy that can regale you with individual characters' lore from the series. I know Captain Falcon is a bounty hunter. He has an evil clone named Blood Falcon, and Black Shadow is the bad guy. Outside of that, as well as having watched a few episodes of the anime and knowing about some random Easter eggs, a lot of F-Zero's finer lore is lost on me. But another thing I know is that the series has been dead for years now and is in need of a revival. While there are still a nice variety of futuristic racing games worth playing today, F-Zero is still king of the genre in my opinion, with F-Zero X on the N64 being my personal favorite. And looking the series over, I see two options forward for the franchise. The first is less than ideal, but I think the series could continue. Granted, it would be weird to do so, as F-Zero Maximum Velocity serves as a sort of sequel to the series, with Captain Falcon and many of the other well-known pilots having retired from the F-Zero Grand Prix. Going this route would require Nintendo to release the previous F-Zero games, such as through Nintendo Switch Online or via a remaster collection like Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but I really don't see that happening. If it did, it would require some new English translations, as not all of the games have gotten a release outside of Japan. The basic idea here is that it would let newcomers to the series catch up on the lore, while also acting as a refresher for longtime fans before the release of a new game. However, I think there is a much better option that Nintendo should go for. Reboot the series. Listen, I get that there's loads of reboots coming out lately, and I'm even among those that's getting a bit tired of them, but I really do believe this would be a great option for the F-Zero series. It allows for Maximum Velocity to act as an end to the original series, while giving Nintendo a fresh canvas to work with. And it's not like they haven't done it with Star Fox 3 times now either. And I think there's a lot Nintendo can do with a rebooted F-Zero. Bear with me here, as I'm going to make some suggestions that might not go over well with fans of F-Zero and a couple of other Nintendo franchises. I believe that Nintendo should use an F-Zero reboot as a way to bring together its space-based franchises. Keep the games as high-speed racers, I'm not wanting any kind of change on that front, but amp up the stories and go full bore with the references in them. For example, take Jodie Summer and make her an alias for Samus Aran. She's already such a strong nod to Samus with her background as a representative of the Galactic Space Federation, and Samus being a bounty hunter employed by the Galactic Federation. Plus, the two share a similar appearance, with Jodie even sporting a symbol that bears a resemblance to the screw attack from the Metroid series. And on that same note, just make James McCloud actually be Fox McCloud's father. It's not like there aren't anthropomorphic characters. Anthropomorphic, I have always said it as anthropomorphic. I'm learning today. But it's not like there aren't already these animal-styled characters in the F-Zero series. There's plenty of aliens that fit that bill, such as Octoman or Pico. So go ahead and just make James McCloud one of those instead of a human that just happens to look like his Fox counterpart. He's also already piloting his combat plane that was converted into an F-Zero machine, which I'll also point out that one of the endings of Star Fox Command sees the Star Fox crew do this exact thing to their R-Wings to take part in the G-Zero Grand Prix, which is a clear nod to the F-Zero Grand Prix. Heck, the references between Star Fox and F-Zero go even further, with the R-Wings and F-Zero machines both using the G-Diffuser system for their anti-gravity capabilities. And it's not like it would be that hard to say that James McCloud comes from the Lilat system and not our solar system. It would also be really easy to just say that his time as a racer in this Grand Prix takes place before he founded the Star Fox Mercenary Unit. And at that point, I'd even be cool with having a younger Peppy tagging along with James as another racer, kind of build on their background together. And to be clear, I'm not asking for these characters to become the main spotlights of the series. I don't want them taking away from Captain Falcon, since it is his series. but having them there as optional racers would make for a cool crossover and tie together Nintendo's biggest sci-fi franchises. And I also have to point out that Nintendo kinda already does this with Mario Kart. It features characters from Mario games obviously, but Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and some tracks from F-Zero already. So just kinda do the same thing with F-Zero for the sci-fi series, except make it a bit more serious and not just cameos, you know? Like, not just non-important nods, I guess I would say. I want it to actually have some weight to the story if I could. A simple example of this would just be letting these characters interact during the story. Just hear me out real quick. We could have some kind of scene where Captain Falcon's Falcon Flyer gets shot down while he's chasing after a bounty, be it, Black Shadow or Blood Falcon, something along those lines, and Jodie Summer shows up with her own personal ship, which is clearly Samus's gunship, and she gives him a lift to chase after his prey. And that's just a simple, quick example off the top of my head. I'm sure there are better and more well thought out ways that you could have fun little winks and nods between these characters that Nintendo could come up with themselves. And I know some people might be against this idea. Crossing over these characters is a controversial one, and I get that. But I do think it would be for the best. It would shine extra light on the F-Zero series and maybe help draw in new fans that initially show interest because of the cameos. I think that could be especially true considering the recent return to popularity that Metroid has received, and it could maybe help us get more Star Fox games too. But these are just my thoughts for how Nintendo could revive F-Zero, or at least how I would want to see Nintendo treat a revival of F-Zero. And if you've got any ideas for what Nintendo could do to bring this series back from the grave, I'd love to hear your suggestions down below. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll be getting back to my normal retro reviews here in the next couple of weeks. I've just taken a little bit of a break and done some of these other little videos like my Armored Core 6 First Thoughts, and then I just kind of wanted to talk about this F-Zero thing. But I am going to get back to the reviews, no worries there. And until next time, take it easy.